What's going on, guys, and a big welcome to you all to our channel. We are Team Crushing the Meta, and we are back with another video. This time we're talking about the extra booster set 9, of course, and we are here with the 4th part. So in this part we're talking about Spike Brothers. Of course, if you are a big fan of the other two clans, you could follow us on Facebook, and on Facebook we talk about all the clans, all of the reveals. We already have covered up actually a lot of cards with Spike Brothers, so this is part 4 as I said, and the cards that we already have covered, of course the comments that we are getting, so the triggers, we are getting Linux, Tiara and Silent Joker back in the same art I think, and that's really a shame. And then we're also getting Mega Trainer back, or another starter. We'll have to wait and see. The other cards that we're getting as comments are also cards that we have covered in other videos. If you want to hear more about those, you can check them out. The rares for this set are insanely good, and we've got 2. We'll cover 1 more in this video, and of course our VR and the first double rare. So these are the cards that we have covered, and we have some left. For today's reveals, first one we talk about is Detonate's Barrel. This is an amazing card for premium and could also be very good used in standard. So first, his skill. Well, he has the auto ability or rare guard. Whenever he attacks, he soul blasts himself, and then you draw a card and this card get an extra 10k. Okay, the arts. In my opinion, of course, gets a 4 from 5. It's an amazing art, fits great into the clan, the colors are amazing, and you can see the field behind him and everything, the sky being dark, so they're having a match later on in the day, so that's really good. I love it a lot. The uses. It's a card that I do see used in multiple decks. In standard, could be used with the Seafreak deck, and premium could be used in almost every deck if you have a consistent way to put him in the soul. I do see him used a lot, but it's also a card that you don't really have to use. So the uses could also be 2 from 5 or 4 from 5, depending on if you have space in your deck to put him in. And that's why, in my opinion, it's a good card. It's a filler card. It could be in there, but the skill is really good. Also, talking about the skill, Bushido is giving us a lot of cards that give you a draw power. It's something that is kind of needed in Spike Brothers in their opinion. Well, for me, I do still think that Spike Brothers has an amazing way to get the pluses, but that's maybe because I do play the clan a lot myself and I know my ways out of playing against other clans. But cards like these do make our job easily to get our hands with more cards, and the thing about this card is he stays on the field and there are ways to put him into your soul. So it's an amazing card in my opinion with an amazing skill. So he could work with Siegfried, as I said. He works great with the GB8. I mean, this is his best friend. The only thing you have to do is like you attack with a rare guard if you have this already on the field. Or if you have it in your hand, you attack with a rare guard, you put this card from your hand and that rare guard into the soul with a GB8 skill, then you call this card and then you attack, you soul blast himself, he gain the extra 10k, which is amazing because the power is kind of sometimes needed, and then you also draw a card, he goes into the soul with a card from your hand and you keep recalling him 4 times, then you could soul blast him with Teeee or Spike Bouncer, put him back with Wonder Boy, and you could do that all over again, but you're getting with this card free attacks with the GB8 skill, and that's really good. In the early game he does a little bit less because you don't have him in the soul yet, so it's not that good, but again with Siegfried you could work very good. The cost of the card is kind of a downside because he costs soul and he costs soul being himself, which is something that could make it inconsistent to use sometimes in standard. In premium it's easy to use. Then also we have to think about the way using him with Bull Spike. I don't really see a combo where you could put him into your soul without paying a counterblast, so I don't know. You could still use him by like with the booster, put him into the soul, draw a card, and then next turn call him, but it's not a consistent way to get your pluses to your hand. So again, it's a filler card that will go in there in decks that you have space to play him, and those deck could make easy pluses out of this card. But especially, it's a premium card. So it's like he was made for the GBA deck, which I really don't mind. Then we have our new critical. It's a common, of course, from the set. This card gets the art 5 from 5. The first card that gets a 5 from 5 in my opinion is the critical trigger. The art is amazing. It's a cheerleader. The way she sits on the chair just looks amazing. The name, everything about the card is just really nice. I love it a lot. The uses. This I didn't give 5 from 5, I gave only 4. There are a lot of different decks that could run the 12 crit in standard, like we are making 2 decks, and I think I would be one of the people that definitely will play 12 crits and will not play heals in standard. I never played heals until we got the G guards. In the Limit Break era I didn't play them, before that I didn't play them, and when we got the V supports I didn't want to play more than 4 draws. I didn't play 5 draws and didn't play 6 draws. I did only play 4 draws because draws in Spike Brothers are not really needed. Sometimes you draw the cards that you want to have in your deck, sometimes you have them in your hand which are less shield. It's not the same as the G era when you could put them from your hand into the soul only with Gyro Slinger, but you're minusing yourself, man. It's really not needed, and this card will make a big difference because I will definitely take Tiara out to put her in there and she would make a big difference. So the 12 crit standard deck and the 16 crit premium decks. I don't think that we will see 16 crit premium decks because G Guardians are amazing spike, because your GB8 is an amazing card, because getting more cards face up, meaning even with the Violence Ace you draw more. With cards like Agrius, you have a better first stride, so you would not take your heals out that easily, but I could see some rush decks playing 16 crits in premium. But again, for standard, amazing to play the 12 crits. Alright, then we have our bad end, Draaaaaaggerrr. We finally get our first triple R, and man, this card is amazing. I have to talk about him separately in standard and then in premium, but this card does so much for the clan. People that do not agree with this card or are not happy with this card, sorry that I'm saying this, but you are not a Spike Brother fan and you will never be. Why? Easy. I'm being that harsh because I've seen people not happy with this card and you just don't understand the way that Spike work. Well, first of all, let's talk about his skill. He has a Vanguard and a Vanguard skill. When he attacks, you pay the Count Blast of 1 and you put one of your Vanguards into your soul, and then, oh yeah, you put them in the bottom of the deck. That's my mistake, not into your soul. And then this card gets an extra 5k and a crit until the end of the battle. Second skill, when you roll a pawn, so it's kind of a break, right? We have seen this before in different clans, especially in Narukami. You may retire your opponent's Vanguard on the same column as this card. So you ride upon him, you call him to a Vanguard circle, and then you retire the column of your opponent's Vanguard. Alright, first, his art is 4 from 5. I actually like this art way more than the old one. The old one is also nice, but I kind of see more with this card. Also the way he's coming from, he's like charging into you, but also trying to score a touchdown. It's really amazing. The uses is 5 from 5. Another 5 from 5. And I will tell you why I think that this card could be used in each Spike deck. Even the Charge Rising deck, this card could fit in there. And the skill is 4 from 5. This skill is an amazing skill. I really don't understand why people do not agree with this card. But, okay. First of all, 2 very important things that you have to keep in mind while reading this card. These 2 are enough to give this card 5 from 5 as the uses and even the skill, which I give him 4 from 5, but you could also give him 5 from 5. First one is the retirement power that you have in premium. This card gives you retirement power as a Vanguard without having to hit or not to hit or anything. You could just have him as a Vanguard, right on the top of him, you call him to Vanguard circle, and then you retire everything in that column, meaning he could take out Honori without having any problems. Even if they happen behind the Vanguard, you call this behind the Vanguard, no problems. It's chilling there behind the Vanguard. Alright, That's one. Second thing is, this card gains a critical by being a rare card. Something that Spike does not have, something that Spike will abuse. How could Spike abuse this? Like, in standard, if you want to do your opponent an extra damage and you have only one force 2, and then you could use this card to gain, like, use it with Bull Spike. Bull Spike will put the force 2 on this card. This card could hit for 3 criticals. But also in Premium. In Premium, this card could work around the Zoo Nation Stride, not Zoa, the other one. The other one, if your opponent has 5 damage, you cannot do them the 6 damage because then they survive and they have their turn. But by attacking with this card, that would mean that this card could gain an extra critical, and with that they have to guard that attack. And you could go multiple times into this, which means that they will not survive or they will lose a lot of hand, and then you could end your turn right there. So this card gives you a lot of advantage in opening a new dimension for Spike, being the retirement power of a whole column, so it could also work around resist, and also having the option to get a critical as in a rare card. One more thing, it also has a critical as in Vanguard, so this card by himself could be a finisher as a Vanguard, which is also something that we do not have in Spike. He does something by himself. And talking about the other stuff, okay, in Standard or even in Premium, there is a different approach to a Juggernaut Maximum. First of all, we had a Juggernaut Maximum and a Skydiver, one who gets power, one who calls. We have seen this with the time of Spike builds, like the Hive Maker was the Skydiver and the Bulldozer Dope was the Juggernaut Maximum. And this kept going on and on and on. We have seen this in Legion era. We have seen the Silver, which gains the 10k if you're in Legion. And then we have the Ogle, the Frozen Ogle, which gain the power to call stuff. And in the V era, we have seen differently. We have seen the Juggernaut who gains power, but we haven't seen the Skydiver who calls something. Will the other triple rare be a rare guard or something that could call stuff from your deck? Or will they keep it as something would get a crit? Which I also okay with, because this opens, as I said, new dimensions for the Premium Spike with the deck. But it's a different approach to a Juggernaut. Now, while making your deck, as in Standard, you could put Juggernaut in there for the power, or you could put this card in there for also power and having the crit, but also being a very good right targets. So yeah, it does make the Standard deck way more consistent if you're going into him and not the Juggernaut Maximum, depending on the build that you want to play. This would be a slower build, the Juggernaut Maximum will be a faster build. So depending on the format, which makes it amazingly good in Standard because you have different ways to build your deck. It's important to have that. Second thing is it's great with Good End Dragger, of course. I could explain the Good End Dragger combo that you could do with this card, and that's also why I put it has an amazing cost. The way that it puts a rare guard back to the deck is very important because it works with Mega Instructor, because Mega Instructor without the old Bad End Dragger will not activate, but with this one you could also activate it by putting it back to the deck by using his own skill and not the old Bad End Dragger. So what happens? You have this as your Vanguard, so you're already right into something that has a marker, which is good. You don't have to wait for Limit Break 4, which is good. You have another 2 rare guards chilling on the field. You attack with one of your rare guards, maybe even boosted by the Mega Instructor, and with that you attack them with your Vanguard being Good End Dragger. Good End Dragger skill activate at the end of the battle, choosing 2 cards from your 2 grade 3s from your deck and riding both of them because you don't have open Rare Circle. When you ride on the top of this card, you call this card to an open Rare Circle or to Rare Circle, which is the Rare Circle that you attacked on while you have the Mega Instructors chilling behind him. And you choose Bull Spike and any other grade 3. It doesn't matter because even if you choose this card, he is not ride upon because you would have the Bull Spike going on top and this card will go into the soul, but you would not ride on the top of this card. You would ride twice on the top of this card, but you still get his skill only once because you can only call one because he's only 1 in your soul. So with that, the second grade 3 that you ride into with Ball Spike doesn't really matter, which is something you have to remember. This is different than Break Ride. The Break Ride activates twice because you ride twice on the top of it, but with this it's different. But you do get the 2 markers, which is very important. So you already have a marker, then you gain 2 more, that's 3 markers, and then you, with Wolf Spike, you'd move them around, so everything that attacks get the extra 30k, which is exactly the same but even better than the old combo with the Break Ride, because the old combo with the Break Ride gives you double Break Ride and 1 marker, or 2 markers and 1 Break Ride, which means if you have 2 markers and 1 Break Ride, one column will attack for 30 and the other column will attack for 20, and if you have 3 markers, but in that case you only have 2 markers, so one column will attack for 20, one column will attack for 10 extra. If you use the combo that you use the double Break Ride and 1 marker, then each column will get 20 and 1 column will get the 30, so 30 and 20. But with this card, every column will get 30 because you have Wolf Spike to move your markers around, so that's important. Alright, then when you call this card to that Vanguard circle with the Vanguard that already attacked, you attack with this card, and then you could use the ability to put Mega Instructor back to your deck to recall something. So you attack first with the other column, then you attack with this card, you put Mega Instructor back to your deck, you recall that card, and then you attack with it again. If there is a Mega Instructor behind that record as well, you could do the same thing by using this card twice if it's chilling on the other column to put the Mega Instructor back and recall that card. If you don't understand what I'm saying, it's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just mumbling about the ways that you could use this card with Vanguard, and I will try also to show it to you in a video where you could really kind of understand what I'm saying, but I think that most of my Spike World friends will kind of understand what I'm saying. It's the easy combo that you could do with this and Good End, and this would make the Good End deck way more consistent and make the Rush build more kind of a Good End / Rush build, because now you could play 4 copies of this, 4 copies of Bull Spike, and then you have already a consistent deck that plays Good End and the Rush together, and then you already played Mega Instructor as a card in the Rush build, so why not add it in this deck? So that would make the deck way better, and I'm very happy with that. Alright, that's what I meant with the amazing cost, a way to put Mega Instructor back to the deck. Retirement power without on hit, I talked about that, +1 on field, I talked about that, and then use 5 dimensions, which what I meant is that retirement power and having a critical. That's actually it about this video. The cards that we will still get are 0 VR, 1 triple rare, 2 double rares, 1 rare, and 2 commons. Why I'm saying 1 rare? Because I already counted the PG that we are getting. So we're getting the PG and 1 other rare because we already have 3 rares. And then 2 commons. I'm not sure if we will get 10 or 11 commons. We have to wait and see. But a lot of this Spike deck is already revealed. I'm really interested what the other triple rare and double rares will do, because we kind of still need a counter charger in Spike, especially in standard. So let's wait and see if we will get something like that. And I'm very happy with the Spike support till now. I'm really amazed how good the art looks. I'm really amazed how good the rares are, which is something so stupid. It's really stupid that the Spike rares are so good. But yeah, I'm happy. I would like to thank you guys for all the love and the support yet again. Don't forget to go to our Facebook group. You could be a part of the group. You could like, tell us in the comments what you want to see next, and also what you think about the card reviews. And you do help me out a lot with making these videos, because with your thoughts and my thoughts together, we could like cover almost everything that we talk about. Alright, stay tuned for more Crushing the Meta. Until next time.